Well, here's where I cut the ceiling out. You can see if the rain there, it's all leaking. I really hate campers. And it's all wet there. Fucking shit. Ah. I'm so fed up with this thing. I can honestly tell you that I despise campers. Okay, what's... Ah. Campers are the biggest pile of shit. They really are. I just hate them. I know I should be more grateful for... Oh, there we go. There, it's leaking there. Right there. Okay. Yep. Huh. Yeah, right there. That's where it's leaking, right there. Okay. Well, now I know where it's leaking. That's not really working very good, is it? Well, I guess if it makes any mark at all. Huh. Look at this. Nothing works. You can't get a marker that works. You can't get a pen that works. The roof leaks. Good grief. I'm eating naproxen tablets like they're M&Ms to keep the inflammation in my lungs down because of the mold in here from all this water leaking through here. What a mess. What an awful mess. Anyway, it's leaking there, clearly. There's a leak over here too. I'm sure there's plenty more. But anyway, oh, there we go. It's leaking here somewhere too. It must be because it's wet here, so. Okay, where are you? Oh, there, it's wet right there. Yeah. What a nightmare. I can feel the wet up in there, and it's wet here, so. Yeah. Hi, Rocky. So how do you like our mold-infested trailer with running water upstairs and down? Hey, pretty good, isn't it? Anyway, this is what I'm dealing with. I don't know how I'm going to fix it, but this is what I'm dealing with anyway. And I have to fix it because I can't have any more mold coming in here. It's just bad. It was leaking around here too. I may have that sealed up now. I went up there last night and I did more work with the tire or whatever the heck it is. That's that sealing stuff. That it isn't tire. You can't seem to get tire anymore. But anyway, yeah. And all nasty. Just nasty. Well, I grew up in a mobile home and I hated the place. And I had misgivings about getting a camper. What I wanted to get was an ice shack because they're easy to insulate and stuff and far easier to maintain than a piece of junk camper. But anytime I pursued an ice shack, either they wanted a crap ton of money for it or I was dealing with some crazy person. I dealt with some guy in Carlton Place who was a complete nut. And basically was telling me even though he had the place advertised, even though he had the thing advertised that wasn't really for sale because it was already sold, but he'd show it to me, but he had to ask the guy he sold it to for permission to show it to me and all that. And then he came back at me literally 30 seconds after he said that and said, I just called the guy and he said I'm allowed to show it to you. And it's like, well, is it for sale or isn't it? Have you sold it or haven't you sold it? And So finally I gave up on that. And I had a couple of dealings with people like that, and it just drove me crazy dealing with people like that. So I gave up on that. And I bought this thing. And the thing is, they're all the same, these campers. You never see one that isn't a friggin' mold-infested, leaky mess. Like, they're garbage, really. I mean, I'm grateful to have a roof over my head of some sort. But this is kind of sickening. And I knew this would happen when I bought it, but I was so limited in my choices, I had to do something, so I did this. Anyway, here we are. I'm better off than most people in my situation, and I know that. But I'm still really frustrated by this. And I've been up there working, trying to seal it all up, and I'm still getting all this crap. Like, I don't think you can actually fix one of these things. I think that they're such garbage that you can't fix them. That's what I think, anyway. But of course, I came into the thing hating it, so because I just really dislike campers and trailers and whatnot, you know. Anyway, it's more incentive to work hard to get out of this situation, so that I can, I don't know, set this thing on fire and burn it down someday and walk away from it. I don't know. Not that I would literally do that, because I burned down the field if I did, but I'll tell you, there's a part of me really wants to. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but I'm just really frustrated. Like, I've been up there so many times trying to patch this place up, and you cannot fix it. You just can't fix it. But you know what they say, you can't polish a turd. So there you go. Anyway, I'm just really frustrated right now, and I'm not being very grateful, and I guess I'm going to need to pray about that, because I need to be more appreciative. It's just I'm struggling with it right now. This sort of thing drives me crazy. I don't like things that aren't built properly. That's one of the reasons I don't like modern vehicles, because they're not built properly. You can't build a decent car when you don't even have a frame underneath it. When it's just one panel tack welded to another. Anyway, this isn't a whole lot different. It's just a poorly built mess is all. But I'll straighten it out somehow, and I'll learn to be grateful for it. And I'll say some prayers about it. I'll apologize to God for being ungrateful. And I'll ask Him to make me grateful, even though I don't feel inclined to be. That's all. That's where we are. I just got another drip, came down, hit my hand. Okay. It's at the point where it's almost comical. Oh well. Talk later, I guess. Maybe I'll be in a more positive frame of mind next time. I'm just struggling, that's all, with this. Talk later.